Adidas Boston 10, from a first glance you can see straight away this doesn't look like the Boston that we're used to. As you can tell, this one looks pretty different to all its predecessors, and as always the aesthetic is absolutely on point. We've got loads of new features in the shoe, basically everything's changed in the shoe, so let's jump in and have a look to see what's different. So first of all, and it's usually the case with Adidas shoes, is the fact that the aesthetic just looks absolutely on point, and I think a lot of people are just going to buy these as casual trainers because, I mean, look at them, they look pretty sweet, don't they? They've kind of taken away that leery sort of running shoe look and toned it down and made it a little bit more muted, which I'm a big fan of. But as well as that, there's a whole host of tech features and reasons why this shoe is still a great running shoe, but we'll have a look at them in a minute. So let's break the shoe down and have a look at everything in it. So lace-wise, it doesn't come with stretch laces, which we see with a lot of running shoes now. And they're really quite good for when your foot expands and moves around in the shoe. It gives you that little bit of flexibility in the shoe. But I think the laces, not being those stretch laces, is one of the main reasons why the shoe just looks so smart as a casual shoe. Either way, no biggie there, and if you did want stretch laces, a super easy thing to swap out for. Moving on to the tongue, it's got that sort of thick engineered mesh on there, which not only looks really nice, but that's going to be proper hard wearing, which is a really nice touch. The tongue's gusseted down either side, which is a really nice feature for a couple of reasons. So not only does it just keep that tongue nice and straight, which is something that you really want even in a casual shoe, but definitely running, you don't want your tongue sliding down either side. But the other really good thing about it is the fact that it gives you like a whole nother level of comfort when you're in the shoe, because it almost acts as a sort of one-piece upper, like the sort of one engineered mesh piece upper, which is really nice. And you'll actually notice that the gusset is basically a full wrap inside the shoe, so that's why it feels like that basically. So it's kind of two birds, one stone with that one. And then within the tongue, I'm not sure if you can see it well, but it's got this nice sort of neoprene cushion layer, probably 3mm thick I'd say, that just runs all the way down on that main contact point on the upper of your foot there, that just makes it really comfortable. So I really like the tongue there, and on this colorway, I can't help but just love that little gold Adidas stamp up at the top there. So moving on to the upper, this is something that I haven't really seen before, and it's quite interesting actually. So it's like a super thin, transparent plastic sort of weave. It's probably the best way I could describe it. Probably got a name for it, but I don't know what it is. And you can clearly see my fingers through it here, which is quite cool. So all the colours coming from the inside of the shoe. This upper mesh material being so thin is obviously going to make for it being super breathable. But I think the key to this is that inner is obviously super flexible and adjustable to how your foot's going to fit in there. And this is just super flexible too. So whatever foot shape you've got, unless it's super extreme, if you lace up correctly, you're going to get a really comfortable fit out of the shoe. Around that upper, you've got these really nice suede touch points. So you've got that around the toe box here, and you've got it around the bottom of the lace box here. And they're basically just there to give the shoe that little bit of extra protection and basically a bit of shape, because it would be a pretty floppy shoe without them there. But I love the choice of that suede, and especially in a running shoe, it's not something you see so often, and it looks pretty on point. And just whilst we're on the shape of the shoe, that whole shoe silhouette is just absolutely on point. And Adidas, I mean, if anyone's going to nail it, Adidas is, but they definitely have done with this one. So the heel counter, they've made this nice and easy to explain for the video, because they've basically made a nice visual line of it. So it's actually quite big. I'll give you big and hard. Don't know if I'm allowed to say that in the video, but it's quite substantial. It's not one of the proper soft ones that you sometimes get in an Adidas shoe. So it's going to give you that really nice heel cup hold, which is what you want for a shoe like this. And it's got quite a lot of shaping too, so that's going to really help with that as well. And then if you move into the inside of the shoe, it's got that classic sort of 360 cushion around the top with less cushioning at the bottom to really give you that sort of snug hold, which is, again, exactly what you want from a heel cup. Another feature with this colorway that I can't tell whether it's out of place or not, I like it, but I'm not sure everyone will, is that it's got this blue shiny heel tab at the back here, which is just going to help get the shoe on and off. But nice choice of a shimmery blue there, which is a bit different. Right, let's have a look at the insole. So what we've got here is a fairly standard, pretty, well, super flimsy, nice sort of soft EVA foam midsole. Pretty standard, but pretty nice. But what I found more interesting is the fact that straight underneath the heel here, you've got actually something that feels really similar to that, a few mil thick, just directly on the heel there. So that's just going to help with those sort of heel strike impacts, especially when you're running downhill. So just a nice little extra feature inside the shoe that you don't get in most shoes, which is just quite a nice touch. So that's the whole sort of upper of the shoe covered. If you've got any extra questions that I haven't covered in this, drop them in the comments and I'll be sure to answer them. And whilst you're here, if you want to see the pictures, product description, or want to buy them from Wiggle, click on the link up here and you can do all that there. So this shoe over the years has been a cracking shoe for your everyday training shoe, all the way to just being a general sort of workout shoe for your day-to-day exercise. And that's been down to how comfortable it is, but mainly due to the midsole. So we've got a few changes here and even in here, so let's take a look at them. So first thing you're going to notice is stack height. It's definitely way bigger than on the old Boston. And I mean, it looks really nice, but basically what that's going to relate back to is the fact that this is going to be a more cushioned, comfortable shoe. So this highly cushioned plush midsole is made of two different foams, and basically the lighter white bit that you can see here at the bottom is Adidas Lightstrike. We're used to seeing that, super good, lightweight, responsive, but then if you flip it around on the other side, this creamy sort of mid layer is Lightstrike Pro. So that's Adidas's top tier level, and that's the lightest and most responsive foam that Adidas have to offer today. And we no longer see any boost in these shoes. So is that boost gone for good? Probably is. So that's all going to marry up to this being a super plush, responsive running shoe, which is exactly what most of us are after. But to push that responsiveness even more, they've got this new energy rod system that you can see through the bottom here. Now, Adidas say that this cutout was to save weight. Yeah, it might do that a little bit, but they've definitely put it there just so you can see those rods poking through, which is pretty cool. You've got to give them that. And basically that's just going to work as a sort of basic carbon plate. So it's just going to give you that more efficient run with a little bit more efficiency off every stride, basically. It's also going to help give that sort of nice torsional rigidity, which is just going to make the shoe feel really stable, especially when you're really fatigued at the end of a longer run and you need that extra stability underneath your feet there. So a really nice feature there, and one that I really like in the new Boston 10. So the outsole, Continental, what a surprise, but what a nice surprise nonetheless, because we've seen this in Adidas shoes for years now. Continental are the kings of rubber. They basically make tyres from bike tyres, car tyres, and obviously running shoe soles now, which is great. What makes them so good is the fact that their compounds are so good because they're hard wearing, long lasting, and they're really grippy in a mixture of conditions. So even when the roads are slimy out there, you're obviously going to be using this on the road as it's a road shoe, you're still going to get a lot of grip compared to a lot of other soles out there, and it's not going to be a draggy grip, if that makes sense. So you're going to get efficiency and grip together, all in a long lasting package. So the Boston 10, a very different Boston to what we're used to. I personally love all the updates, and it makes it more of a shoe for me, and it might do the same for you, it might not, but let us know what you prefer or dislike about it in the comments below. Do you like the increased stack height? Do you like the carbon rods? I mean, if you've tried it, we'd love to know what you think of it as well, so let us know. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.